if you are taking a managerial accounting class right now, I assume that you have already taken financial accounting. So now you are being introduced to new things such as variable cost, fixed cost, and predetermined overhead rate, manufacturing overhead, and other things like direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead, as I mentioned. Okay, good. And you have also been introduced to what we will call contribution format of income statement, where you have to find a sales, cost of goods, and find a variable cost or variable expenses, and be, you find a gross margin before you find fixed expenses. So this income statement differs a little bit from financial accounting statements. Okay, statement and managerial accounting are a little bit different from financial accounting statement. But let's go ahead and talk about these principles. Let's discuss these principles and let's find out what they are. That's what I'm going to do to help you understand managerial accounting from scratch. Okay. Now, we have here introduction to accounting. In my previous video, if you go to my playlist, in financial accounting, I've done introduction to financial accounting. So this is also an introduction to managerial accounting. But we have to talk about what accounting in general is. This will serve as a review or a reminder for you, those who have already taken financial accounting and are progressing toward managerial accounting. So in my previous video, these are what I talked about. Accounting itself is an informational system that presents report of all economic activities and condition of a business to its users for decision making. Okay, so you send it to users so users can see and make decisions based on the information they receive. So accounting is all about presenting information. The concept is it is an information system. Okay, so it's not all about numbers, especially with managerial accounting. It does deep going into and discussing how to make decisions. Okay, and as we know, internal users are those that are directly involved in managing and operating the business. Okay, and these include managers and employees. Okay, and this type of accounting present information to internal users is called managerial accounting, and that is what I'm going to talk in this course for the next 14 weeks. I'm going to talk about managerial accounting. If you want to also learn about financial accounting, go to my channel, go to playlist, and select or open financial accounting. I have a course that I'm going through as well for those that are taking financial accounting. But this is managerial accounting. Okay, so external information that are presented to external users are those that are not directly involved in managing and operating the business. And this type of accounting is called financial accounting. So you know that financial accounting present information specifically for external users, and managerial accounting present information for internal users. This information that are intended for internal users are more specific, are more detail oriented. Okay, there are some information that you don't have to send them outside. Information like customers' behavior. Okay, when are we going to expand business? What are we going to sell? What are we not going to sell? All these things are managerial activities, how to manage the company. So that is why it becomes or it falls under managerial accounting category. And that is what I'm going to take you throughout this course. Okay, we'll focus on managerial accounting. Great. If you want to learn more detail about the introduction of accounting, please watch my previous video. And I'm just summarizing this, just giving you a helicopter view of what I've already talked about. Okay. Now, you are directly involved. Let's see the contrast between financial accounting and managerial accounting, what they really do. Okay, these two. So with financial accounting, you report to those outside of the company. That is, you report to owners, or you report to creditors, you report to tax authorities, that is the government, you report to regulators. Okay, you report to customers as well. Okay, by here you report inside the organization for planning, controlling, and decision making. You report to those that are within the organization. What are we going to plan? What do we have control of? Okay, now that we have this information, let's make a decision. What are we going to do? How are we going to make profit? How are we going to sustain this company? That is the purpose of managerial accounting. Okay, managerial accounting emphasizes financial consequences of past activities. Okay, so managerial accounting, it has already happened, and they present the information of what has already happened. With that's financial accounting. With managerial accounting, they emphasize decision affecting the future. If we do this, if we sell this, if we increase the price, how is it going to affect our sales in the future? That is managerial accounting. Okay, you decide. You decide. If I've once heard that if you want to get close to the boss, study managerial accounting because you are involved in making decisions. Financial accounting, you just look at what has already happened. Okay, they give you the information. This is our income statement, this is our balance sheet. You look and you audit what's already happened. But managerial accounting, you predict the future. You make decisions for the future. You emphasize in financial accounting, you emphasize objectivity and verifiability. Okay, so what has already happened, you verify. Okay, does it represent faithful representation? Is it faithful? Are this information faithfully represented? That's what you do. Here you emphasize relevance, not necessary verifiability, but what is going to make a significant impact on the company. That's how you emphasize relevance. Okay. Here you emphasize precision, exactly what it is. Here you emphasize in managerial accounting, you emphasize what we call timeliness. Okay. In financial accounting, while you emphasize company-wide report, in managerial accounting, you emphasize segment report. And I will talk more about this segment report. Like if you have a wide company, okay, you have a company, maybe you have a company in America, but you have different regions that your company have branches. Okay, with managerial accounting, you focus down to all these segments, all these regions, all these stores. You focus on them. You make decision for individual stores, basic stores or particular stores, and you decide the profit. You decide what you're going to sell. With financial accounting, it's just the whole company put together. Okay. With financial accounting, it must follow GAAP, and I talked in my previous video, generally accepted accounting principles. Okay, it must follow those, and those things are cost concept. We have so many quantitative and qualitative analysis principles that my financial accounting should follow, and I'm not gonna go deep into that because that's not what we're going to talk. With managerial accounting, you don't need to follow GAAP. Okay, you don't need to follow GAAP. You are doing your own thing because the information are not for external users. They are for internal users. They are for you. So you present it how you understand it, how it will be relevant to you, how it will help you to make significant decisions. Okay. Mandatory for external users. With financial accounting, you have to send it out to external users. Managerial accounting, you don't have to. It stays within the company. It stays within the company. It doesn't go out all the time. Okay, so that's the contrast between financial accounting and managerial accounting. Now, let's see. We talked about the purpose of managerial accounting, that is planning, controlling, and making decisions. Okay, I want to dwell on these three things. Okay, as the basic of you getting what managerial accounting really is. Okay, so I'm going to focus on these three things. Okay, with planning. One, planning. And I have made my note here. This is a process of thinking about the number of people and activities. Okay, so thinking about the number of people and activities required to achieve the aims of the business. Okay, so in order to accomplish it, you have to ask yourself certain questions. Okay, and some of the questions could be How much should we spend on salaries? Okay, I have my companies. Okay, my company wide and also with regions. Okay, so company A, how much should we spend on salaries for those workers? Company B, how much should we, or region B, how much we spend on those employees? Okay, will the salary differ by positions? Okay, are we going to pay supervisor salary and give ordinary workers wages? How are we going to do it? Okay, are we going to pay, if you are a manager, are we going to pay you $50,000 of salary per month? And then if you're not a manager, should we give you $20,000? Okay, how is that going to affect? That's the things you do, you plan. Okay. And the next step, which is controlling, you take into account factors that might affect the aims of the business. Okay. Okay, so you have to be in control of the company, of the entity, of the financial activities of the business. For instance, you ask yourself certain questions like, did we stay within budget in terms of total salary to the workers? So here you plan here. How much are we going to pay them? You decide. Now you ask yourself, were we in control of that? Did we, if we plan that we're going to spend $200,000 per month on salaries, did we stay within that, or did we spend more than that? Okay, or did we spend less than that? What happened? Okay, were you in control of that? That is managerial accounting. Okay, did each of our employees perform satisfactorily? Okay, did they work that did their work reflect their salary? Okay, did we pay them what they deserve? Did we pay them less? Did we pay them more? You have to be in control of that. That is managerial accounting. You plan and you control what goes on within the company. And we have decision making. Once you know of these things, you make decision based on your planning, based on your controlling, based on the information that you have, based on things that are happening in your company, the financial activities, and other detailed relevant information that you receive. And this decision making is the process of making intelligent, data-driven decision and assessing alternative resolution. Okay, so now I have my data. I plan to pay this much. Well, what did I do? Maybe I paid more salary than what I planned. I paid less salary than what I planned. What am I going to do now? Okay, based on the data that I have, based on the information that I have from my planning and controlling, what am I going to do with that? That's what you ask yourself. Okay. Now, as you do so too, with that will influence decisions like what prices should we charge for our product and services. Great. We have realized that we are paying more salaries. Now, should we increase the prices of the product so we can pay our salaries? You see, you have the data, so you make decision based on that. We are paying too much salaries, so we have to increase it. Or we are paying less salaries. Should we decrease the prices of our product so we can sell more? That's what you do. What product and services should we discontinue? Okay, so based on the information that we have, okay, which product should we have to discontinue? Maybe the employees have too much on them that they are doing. We have to discontinue some of them so they can perform to the maximum what we want. Okay, how should we improve our efficiency and effectiveness? Great. Now that you know that employees maybe perform less than you expect them, what should we do so they can perform more, they can step up, they can pull up their socks, they can step up with their performances? That is managerial accounting. Managerial accounting, you make decisions. Managerial accounting, you are involved in managing the company. In contrary to financial accounting, you just look at data and tell us what is happening. Managerial accounting, if you want to get close to the boss, go into managerial accounting. The boss will call you and you will make decisions with him because you help him to make decisions. You help him to predict the future. You make more relevant information that are needed to making significant decisions. So that is the end of lesson 1 for managerial accounting today. Stay tuned, keep watching my videos, subscribe, and share. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment section and I will respond. Okay, so next time when we meet again, I will take you through what we call cost concept, and that is the lesson 2 I will discuss. Cost concept, that is also managerial accounting. Okay, so stay blessed till we see you again.